Michigan's dense forests and remote wilderness areas have long been rumored to harbor one of America's most enigmatic cryptids, Bigfoot. For generations, tales of massive hair-covered beings stalking through the state's abundant woodlands have captivated the imagination of residents and visitors alike. These stories, ranging from fleeting glimpses to detailed encounters, have become deeply woven into Michigan's cultural fabric, creating a rich tapestry of folklore that continues to evolve with each new reported sighting. While scientific evidence remains elusive, the persistence of Bigfoot accounts across Michigan's diverse geographic regions speaks to the enduring power of this mysterious figure in local tradition. The Michigan Bigfoot, according to numerous eyewitness accounts, stands between 7 and 9 feet tall, with a massive barrel-shaped chest and powerful shoulders that taper to a smaller waist. Its body is typically described as being covered in thick, matted hair ranging from dark brown to black, occasionally with reddish tinges, particularly in the Upper Peninsula reports. Witnesses frequently mention the creature's distinctive features, including a pronounced brow ridge, deeply set eyes that reflect an eerie, reddish glow when caught in light, and a flat, wide nose set above a mouth with surprisingly human-like lips. Perhaps most striking in Michigan accounts is the reported footprint size, often measuring between 15 and 20 inches in length, with 5 toes that appear more human-like than ape-like in many plaster casts collected by researchers. The behavioral patterns attributed to Michigan's Bigfoot population suggest creatures that are primarily nocturnal, exceptionally elusive, and remarkably adept at moving silently through dense forest environments. Witnesses frequently report an overwhelming sense of being watched before actual sightings occur, suggesting these beings possess advanced situational awareness. Unlike more aggressive cryptids, Michigan Bigfoot encounters typically involve the creature retreating rather than advancing toward humans, though reports occasionally mention curious behavior, with the beings observing humans from a distance before melting back into the forest. Vocalizations represent another fascinating behavioral aspect, with witnesses describing everything from low guttural growls to high-pitched screams and wood-knocking sounds that appear to serve as communication between individuals. Michigan's Bigfoot folklore is particularly rich in the northern regions and throughout the Upper Peninsula, where indigenous traditions have long included stories of wild men or forest giants. The Anishinaabe people have legends of the Wendigo and Misabe, supernatural beings with some characteristics overlapping modern Bigfoot descriptions. These traditional stories gained new dimensions as European settlers arrived, bringing their own folklore traditions that merged with local accounts. By the mid-20th century, distinct regional variations had emerged, with the Michigan monk of the southwestern counties, the Dewey Lake Monster near Dowagiac, and the Monroe County Bigfoot, each developing their own mythologies and attributed characteristics. These regional variations reflect both the geographic diversity of Michigan and the way folklore adapts to local concerns and landscapes. Among Michigan's most famous Bigfoot encounters is the 1967 Dewey Lake Monster incident, when numerous witnesses reported a large, hair-covered creature near Sister Lakes in Cass County. The sightings triggered a massive search involving over 300 people and garnered national media attention when teenagers Dennis Needham and Barbara Smith claimed a close encounter with the beast while parked at a local lover's lane. Their detailed description of an 8-foot-tall creature with glowing eyes peering into their car window sparked dozens of follow-up reports throughout the area, establishing this as one of Michigan's most significant Bigfoot flaps. The Monroe County sightings of 1977 represent another watershed moment in Michigan's Bigfoot history, when multiple law enforcement officers reported encounters while responding to calls about a strange creature in the rural areas surrounding Monroe. Deputy Sheriff Jim Tilley's account gained particular credibility when he described tracking an immense bipedal creature through swampland near the Ohio border, discovering footprints measuring 17 inches in length with a stride of over 5 feet. The involvement of trained observers with no prior interest in cryptids, combined with physical evidence including hair samples and plaster casts of the footprints, established this series of sightings as among the most compelling in the state's history. The connection between Michigan's Bigfoot and another famous local cryptid, the Michigan Dogman, represents a fascinating area of overlap in the state's cryptozoological lore. First reported near Traverse City in 1887, the Dogman shares certain habitat preferences with Bigfoot, with both creatures reportedly favoring remote wooded areas, particularly in the northwestern Lower Peninsula. Intriguingly, some researchers have proposed a territorial relationship between the two cryptids, noting that Bigfoot sightings tend to decrease in areas where Dogman accounts are prevalent. Other theories suggest they might represent different interpretations of the same phenomenon, with witnesses' expectations and cultural backgrounds influencing how they perceive these encounters. The timing of sightings adds another layer of complexity, as Dogman sightings reportedly spike during years ending in 7, while Bigfoot appears more consistently across time. The cultural and economic impact of Bigfoot on Michigan communities has been surprisingly significant, particularly in recent decades as cryptid tourism has gained popularity. Small towns across the state have embraced their Bigfoot connections, hosting festivals, establishing museums, and creating hiking trails that capitalize on local sighting hotspots. Businesses from breweries to gift shops feature Bigfoot-themed products, generating substantial revenue in communities that might otherwise struggle economically. Beyond tourism, Bigfoot has influenced Michigan's artistic expressions, inspiring local musicians, filmmakers, and authors to create works exploring these mysterious encounters. Organizations like the Michigan Bigfoot Research Organization have formalized the pursuit, conducted expeditions, and collected testimonies that contribute to a growing database of reported encounters across the state. The scientific community has generally approached Michigan Bigfoot reports with skepticism, though a small contingent of researchers continues to investigate sightings using increasingly sophisticated methods. Game cameras, environmental DNA sampling, and thermal imaging technologies have all been deployed in Michigan's forests, though conclusive evidence remains elusive. Wildlife biologists point out that Michigan's ecosystem, while rich and diverse, lacks the carrying capacity to support a breeding population of large primates without detection. Nevertheless, the sheer volume of sightings by credible witnesses, including law enforcement officers, wildlife specialists, and outdoor professionals, continues to intrigue even skeptical researchers. This tension between scientific skepticism and persistent eyewitness accounts creates a productive space for ongoing investigation and debate. Whether viewed as a flesh-and-blood undiscovered primate, a misidentification of known wildlife, or a purely psychological phenomenon, Michigan's Bigfoot tradition continues to evolve in the modern era. Social media platforms have created new channels for witnesses to share experiences, while also allowing hoaxers to muddy the waters with fabricated evidence. Yet despite these challenges, the core elements of Michigan Bigfoot lore remain remarkably consistent across decades of reports. For many Michiganders, especially those living in rural communities with strong connections to the land, Bigfoot represents more than just a potential cryptid. It embodies the wild, untamed aspects of nature that persist despite human development. The creature has become a powerful symbol of the mysterious potential that still lurks in Michigan's forests, reminding residents that even in our modern world, some questions remain unanswered. Michigan's relationship with Bigfoot represents a complex intersection of folklore, cultural identity, and humanity's enduring fascination with the unknown. Whether or not physical evidence ever confirms the existence of these elusive beings, their place in Michigan's cultural landscape is firmly established through generations of stories, sightings, and speculation. The Michigan Bigfoot phenomenon speaks to deeper truths about our relationship with wilderness areas and our desire to believe that some mysteries remain beyond the reach of scientific explanation. As long as Michigan's forests retain their capacity to inspire wonder and occasional fear, the legend of Bigfoot will continue to thrive, evolving with each generation while maintaining its essential connection to the wild heart of the Great Lakes state. For those who venture into Michigan's remote areas, the possibility of an encounter with this legendary being adds an element of mystery that enhances the natural beauty of one of America's most forested states.